This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult your investment professional before making important investment decisions. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a registered broker-dealer member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor, Hummingbird Wealth Management, LLC, and Cambridge are not affiliated. Now sit back and relax and enjoy another episode of Be the Hummingbird. Here's your host, Laura Johnson.
Hey there, and welcome to the latest edition of Be the Hummingbird. This is our podcast where we strive to inspire you and motivate you and educate you to do what? Well, it's really about life balance, right? It's about making sure you're the best version of yourself. And I feel like when you're the best version of yourself, how you get there is really by talking to other people or listening to podcasts or sharing stories or experiences. And so I got a lot of experiences and a lot of stories to tell and a lot of guest speakers to have. And today we have a guest speaker. Her name is Beth Gentile. Did I say that right?
You did.
Yay! So Beth and I work out at the same gym, SoldierFit in Frederick. Shout out to SoldierFit. I have been a member for 8 years. My body doesn't reflect that I've been working out every day for 8 years because I haven't been working out every day for 8 years. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But Beth and I are going to chat a little bit about, in all honesty, just life and how we got to where we are today and what our, I don't want to say our why or our purpose, but just kind of like how we're taking care of ourselves. But before I jump into that, Beth, if you don't mind, if you can tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I am a transplant here. I've been here for about 8 years. I'm married with 2 kids. Been married for 21 years. I have an almost 14-year-old next weekend, I believe is her birthday. And I have a 12-year-old son. So I got started in the fitness industry about 4 years ago. A little bit before that, I joined SoldierFit as a troop. And I just fell in love with the way that they invited you into their facility and the family I just created. And I used to watch all the black hats stand up there go, man, they look like rock stars. How do they do this? I need to be one of them. So 4 years ago, I just gained the courage and said, I'm going to do this. And I ripped off that Band-Aid and I took the NASM 12-week accelerated program and became a personal trainer. And now I've been doing it for 4 years and I can't imagine not doing it. So
for the audience that's listening, because not everybody goes to SoldierFit. SoldierFit is not just for soldiers. So let's clarify that. It's more of Danny, who's the owner, Danny Farrar, who's the owner. He's former military, and it's based around that whole camaraderie. We all wear the same uniform, so to speak. We all have the same shirt that we wear. You're actually wearing the sweatshirt right now. So we all have the same uniform. We line up in a boot camp type style where we fall in and fall out. A troop is a member. A black hat is basically the trainer who's leading whatever class that we're having. And I will tell you, Beth has we call her classes something. It's called Death by Beth. When you take one of her classes, you feel like you're going to die, but you also feel like, oh my God, that was the best workout ever. So she's one of my favorite black hats for sure there. And that's how we met. And so Beth and I have had a lot of conversations about health, and she works out on the gym side, some of the same times that I work out on the gym side. And one day we stopped and chatted with each other about this topic, and it's called HRT, Hormone Replacement Therapy. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on my side if you want to give it on yours as well, and just kind of talk about it. But so a couple of years ago, this is where I'm going to get real, folks. And so if you know me, you know that I am an open book and I share things. And a lot of times I share things that people go, you maybe shouldn't have shared that, but I'm going to share it anyway. So several years ago, five and a half years ago, I lost my mother. And 3.5 years ago, I lost my brother. And right around the time, right after I lost my brother, which was August 5th of 2021, I've always had some level of depression and anxiety in my life. But it's always been something I can manage. and on some level control. I don't know if they can really control depression and control anxiety, but I've never been to a doctor or a therapist to have conversations about this. When my mom died, I did go see a therapist. It was very enlightening. And anyway, when my brother died, I was very task-oriented about his death, just like I was with my brother, just taking care of things that needed to be taken care of. And about 3 or 4 months after my brother died was his birthday. And it's in November, which is around all the holidays. And I started doing and saying things that I just weren't me. And I explained this to people that I very much it wasn't me. And I was having thoughts of suicide to the extent where I was on 32 on my way to the Bay Bridge and had to pull over and say, what the hell? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? What made you do this? Like, this is not who you are. And over the next several months, I did it again and I did it again. And it really scared me. And I had a come to Jesus conversation with myself and my family. And so that's part of this. Okay. And you know me, I don't know. Do you think I'm that kind of person? No.
You're not. You are very outgoing and you're happy and I don't know, you're just full of life.
I appreciate that.
I see you.
Yeah. And I think that about myself too. Not to pound my own chest, but I always thought of myself that way. So when I was going through this, I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? Get over yourself. You know, I was doing all the things that people tell you to do. And so then a couple of months after I had gone through all of this, I don't know that I was really through all of this. This thing kept popping up on social media. It was a podcast and it was Danny. And this is where I'm going to be honest. Danny, if you hear this, I'm really sorry. But yeah, I didn't want to hear him yelling at me. And I was like, whatever. And I just scrolled, right? A couple of days later, it popped up on my social media. The first thing I saw again, I scrolled. I'm like, I don't want Danny yelling at me because he has a tendency to talk really loud, right? And I love that energy about him, by the way. But the third time I opened up social media and there it is. And I'm like, all right, listen, Laura, God does not put in front of you what you don't need to hear. And if you don't listen, he's going to use a crowbar on your head to make you listen. So I listened and it was Danny talking to, I guess, the owner or somebody at Life Med Institute about hormone replacement therapy. So I'm going to pause there for a second. You saw the same podcast, right?
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I was like sending him a message like, I need to be part of this. And then he finally was like, oh my God, I didn't see that you were in here and be in. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like listening to this podcast, but I'm like, I don't feel like any of this information pertains to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was just like, I don't, you know, is this me? I don't know. You know, I just kind of took all that information in, listened to it all and was just like, I don't think I'm there yet. But then, you know, if I fast forward to now and I think about some of my symptoms back then, I'm like, yeah, I totally was a candidate. My biggest symptom was fatigue. I was very, very tired all of the time. And I went to the primary care doctor and she's like, you need to go see a sleep study doctor. And I would go see them and they're like, well, we're not going to do a sleep study until you take some iron and take magnesium and take this. And then we'll call you back and see if a sleep study is even part of your journey. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, but I don't feel like it's a sleep study that's going to help me battle this funk that I'm in. I mean, come 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm like, I'm done for the day. I felt like I was done for the day. And I just felt like I wasn't being the best mother that I could be, the best wife that I could be, or even the best person that I could be. And I totally understand. And then that started to affect my sleeping at night. Now I'm having insomnia. I can't sleep because I'm sleeping during the day. And at the sleep study doctor, they were like, the worst thing you can do is take a nap. The worst thing. She was like, you got to fight that no matter what. And I'm like, I just can't.
Wow.
I cannot fight taking a nap. I just can't. I felt like it was better for me to take that nap, even though I would get up from that nap and I was more tired than the nap that I took.
And it's amazing. You got to fight through it. You got to fight through that sleep deprivation. You got to fight through that depression. You got to fight through that anxiety. It is like,
exactly.
I physically cannot do it. And we're not talking about lazy people. You and I aren't lazy people. What time do you get up in the morning?
4 a.m.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because she teaches Death by Beth 5:30, in case you guys are wondering. But you get up at 4 a.m. I get up probably 6:30. I roll around, but I'm not a lazy person. I am feet hit the floor and I go. I don't leave the office till 8 o'clock at night. Like, we are not lazy people. And we got people telling us, fight through it. Just don't do it. And I'm like, or take this pill, right? And it's like, okay, but you're not listening to me.
Exactly.
So you saw a couple of doctors, I'm hearing. I saw mine. So I listened to that podcast. And let me tell you, I'm listening to this podcast going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because everything Danny and this gentleman on the podcast were talking about, I was like, I got that. I got that. I got that. And so I'm a gut person and I'm like, I need this. But I know the people around me are going to be like, you better do your research. Because I did my research. And, I did the Google research. Don't anybody give me any criticisms, right? I did the Google research, but Google research is not stupid. It takes you to smart places,
Yes.
Like medical white paper research on hormone replacement therapy. I'm going to hit a pause really quick right now. I know a lot of people are listening to this thinking, well, I'm a guy. I don't need this. Yeah, you do, because you have hormones too. We all have. And I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to tell you, we all have, what is it called? Oh my God, we all have estrogen in our system. We all have progesterone in our system, and we all have testosterone in our system. Men just have a tendency to have different levels than women, but we all have it. And this stuff affects all of us. And as we age, this is a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I'm just talking about my personal experience, and Beth is as well. But what I have found, the first thing I'm going to say is you are your own advocate. When I started feeling like this and being a person that I was not, and then saw this podcast and then did my research, I did the first thing most normal people would do. Went to my doctor. I went to my gynecologist because, this is women's stuff, right? You know what he told me? Literally, no. And I'm like, what? What do you mean, no? He goes, well, that causes cancer. And I'm like, well, really? Actually, according to recent research, not research from 30 or 40 years ago. And he's like, no. It's like he wouldn't even listen to me. And I argued with that man until he put me on basically a watered down version of estrogen. And I'm like, crazy, isn't it?
So my gynecologist told me to go on the pill and that would solve everything.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
And I came off the pill forever ago, over 14 years ago.
Mm.
And that was the best thing I ever did. I think that being on the pill, it really changes us. And it also band-aids things that we go through. And I was like, I can't put that little itty bitty tiny thing in my body. I just can't. And she was like, I'll run, labs, whatever. But because I was like, I want my hormones checked. And she's like, I can run all these labs and they're all going to come back normal. Normal is okay, but you want to be optimized in your levels. And that's where you're going to feel your best self.
Well, and it's interesting. So I like you, we both found hormone replacement therapy experts. My guy's in Florida. He's licensed in the state of Maryland. We do everything by telehealth. So when I finally my journey took me to finding an HRT specialist, I explained everything to me and he was horrified, but not surprised. He's like, traditional medical doctors don't. They're not up on this stuff. You need to find specialists. Just like you would find a specialist for your heart, you need to find a specialist for HRT. And he ran the full blood panel. It was like 8 pages long. I was like, holy cow.
Isn't it wild?
It's crazy. And he went through, much like you just said, all my levels were within range, which is considered normal. He said, so you can't fault your doctor for that. He says, but what they don't take into account is the impact each one of these, they coexist in your body. And so, and I'm going to screw up the medical terms, I'm sure I am, but the impact of your thyroid on your estrogen, on your progesterone, and on your, everything. And he was explaining to me, so one of the things that I'm uber like focused on is my cholesterol. I have a family heart history of people dying in their 40s, 50s, and 60s from heart attacks. And I'm like, this has got to be my focus, right? And my cholesterol, both my good, my bad, everything was good.
But my bad is elevated. It's high.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, mine started to elevate over the last 5 years. And I'm like, I'm exercising. My nutrition is on point. Like, I don't understand. He goes, it's your hormones.
Isn't it funny?
I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, you're kidding me. And I have been on hormone therapy for now 9 months. My cholesterol's back to normal. I'm like, that's magic.
That's amazing. Right. It's amazing. I don't know where my cholesterol is yet, but I've been doing HRT since October. So about 6-ish months.
Yeah. A little less than me. Yeah.
So, and it is life changing.
Yeah.
And you become in tune with your body. And I feel like if you're going to pay money to be healthy and help yourself with HRT, you're going to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to eat the protein. You're going to eat the carbs. You're going to eat the fats. You're going to drink the water. You're going to work out. You're going to take the steps. You're going to set your non-negotiables, and those, you're going to hit them every day because you're excited. And it doesn't matter the journey that you're on. You just want it to be the best one, the healthy one. And
you mentioned having your kids, right? Your oldest is 14. My oldest is 31. I now have grandkids. I have a 4-year-old grandson and a 4-month-old grandson. And I think that you and I share this in common. We need to take care of ourselves so that we can be there to help raise your children, to be there to witness the success and the life of our families. And a lot of people internalize that if I'm taking time out for myself, it's almost a selfish mood. Hell yeah, it is. It is a selfish mood, but it's okay because who's going to take care of you besides you?
Exactly.
You know your body, you know your goals and your aspirations. I don't want to be like my father's side of the family dying in my 40s. Well, I passed the 40s. I don't want to be dying in my 50s and 60s, right? I want to live my life. I want to see my grandchildren get married.
Yes.
That would be friggin' awesome to see. And
absolutely.
Be a great grandmother. Oh my God. Hell yeah. I want to do that. And so I want to kind of close this up. I guess the emphasis I'm making to you, the listener, is that you are your own advocate, and it's okay to not know things. Listen to other people around you, ask other people questions. The only reason I think that Bethany and I even shared it is we were just talking at the gym.
We were real deep in conversation.
And that like it took 30 minutes, I think, out of each of our workouts that day.
We could have kept talking and talking.
But I will tell you from our conversation, a couple of days later, I'm talking to some other women at the gym. A guy across the gym, and we're talking big, muscular guy, comes over and he goes, damn straight. He says, I'm on hormone replacement. They call it testosterone replacement, TRT instead of HRT, but it's the same damn thing.
Well, and I feel like us as women being with our partners, you can't be on HRT without them being on TRT.
Yeah.
They get jealous.
Keep up, dude.
So, yeah. So we all got to be on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk about real quick, just summarize for whoever's listening. What has been the biggest benefit and why they should think about looking into this?
I mean, the biggest benefits, there's so many. I feel like a person again, like I feel like me, and I feel happy and healthy, and I don't feel tired anymore. And brain fog it's not there like it was. I mean, I would be tripping on my words, or I'd say the same thing constantly. And I would also have mood swings, and Jim would be like, why are you talking like that? You know? So, I mean, the biggest takeaways is I'm a better mom. I am a better wife. And for myself, my being, I just feel like I'm a better person. And we only have one body. That's it. You got to take care of this body the best that you can.
Yeah.
And give it everything that it needs.
And I appreciate that. I mean, for me, when my mom died, she was 71, she died of cancer. And, there's only so much you can do to control cancer. She died September 23rd of 2019. And I woke up mid-November and I said, not me. And my why starting in November of 2019 was, if I can control it, I'm going to control it. And so that's when I hired a nutritionist. Don't have a nutritionist anymore, but it was a very educational thing for me. I hired a personal trainer, Zafir, and he and I worked out for 3 years together and learned a lot from him. But when these other things started coming into my life, I was already set up, I guess you could say, to, oh, hell no. If I can control it, I'm going to control it. And there's a way. the biggest thing that bothers me is when you go to somebody, a doctor, a professional, medical professional, and they go, oh, well, that's part of getting older. The hell it is, people. Yes, you get older. Yes, things happen, but there are ways for us to fix these things. There's ways for us to put back into our body what's depleting. And so the biggest thing I want to make sure everybody knows is don't be afraid to ask the questions. And if you're not getting the answers, find someone to get the answers. Whether it comes to hormone replacement therapy or, I don't even know, your finances. I don't know. Just ask the questions. I am a financial planner. I got to throw that in there somehow. So anyway, I appreciate you, Beth. Beth is a ray of sunshine. Even though she's really mean to us on the turf, she's a ray of sunshine. She's very welcoming and loving. And check out her, check out Danny's facility at SoldierFit, or check out me and just give me a call as well. So thank you for listening to today's podcast of Be the Hummingbird. I hope you found this as inspiring and motivational and educational as I do. And this podcast has been presented by Listen Frederick. And as always, it's not goodbye, it's see you later.
Live radio, local podcasts, the Frederick Podcast Network at listenfrederick.com.